Okay, so apparently everybody wants me to talk about Melina, and I don't think people are going to be very interested in what I have to say about her. I think people are expecting one thing, and they're probably going to get the other based on what I've been told and what I've read, and the questions that have come in. Um, Melina, Melina and I, well, I guess we came in about the same time because they were the ones that her guys were the ones that gave me her finisher to put me out so I could go train at Deep South for a little bit longer. So, I guess we were on the road. We started around the same time. Obviously, she'd been in the business longer, but, we came up to WWE around the same time. And I think throughout her career, she had... she may have had, some run-ins or some problems with a lot of people backstage. Personally, I was never one of them, so all the stuff that she, was supposedly had done or whatever issues were going on, I was not part of that, so I never had a problem with her. That's not my business. I try to stay out of people's business. If it doesn't personally affect me, then I don't really need I don't really need to get into the drama. So just not my style. So I never had a problem with Melina. We worked a lot together. We were on separate shows for the most part, but there's several times when both brands come together, pay-per-views or whatever the case may be, where we'd have matches with all the girls, and a lot of times we got to kind of mix it up. And then she came to SmackDown, and we did work a program together, and we had a match. What match was that at the pay-per-view? Night of Champions? Yeah, I think it was Night of Champions, where we kind of put a mark on things because we totally got in trouble for our match, but we got in trouble for our match for it being quote-unquote too good for girls. So I don't care how much I get in trouble if that's what I'm getting in trouble for. But, we did it where it started out where I drop kicked her on her split entrance off the mat, and she took a crazy bump, which she was always game for. Like, the crazier the better. And in that match, we would always try to, and like, we worked pretty well together too. We'd always try to come up with something different, like somehow some new way to come out of one of her moves, or some new way to get into one of my moves, or something that you don't see the girls doing. We were always trying to do. So it was that day I was like, can we not tell anybody, but do you think we could do a DDT on the barricade? And she's like, oh yeah. She's like, not even thinking twice about it. So we kind of hit it all day. We asked our agent, because we did get approval there, and I think it was Fit, who I don't think it's any secret he was always fighting for the girls, and we just made sure that we could stand up and get our balance, but we never actually took the bump. And she was the one taking the bump, taking the DDT on the barricade. And, I had no doubt. There was, like, no hesitation that she was going to take some crazy bump and it was going to look ridiculous. And it did. So we get up there. She takes this DDT on the barricade, looks sick, pops off. We finished the match. I don't remember what the finish of the match was, what happened. But I remember, I think up until that point, that was probably the best match. I think that was the best match that I've had. It was different. It was innovative. It was a pay-per-view, so we had time. And, we did some crazy stuff. So I was really proud of that match. We worked well together. And I remember, though, oh my gosh, we got reamed out. I think it was the next day at Raw or SmackDown. I don't remember which show, but one of the agents came up to us and was like, I can't believe y'all did that. Y'all have no idea. We were all backstage, scared to death. And we're like, what? We know how to safely bump. We wouldn't do anything that put either one of us at risk. Like, we're totally fine. Like, if the guys can do it, why can't we do it? They're like, because it looked too good. And, y'all go out there and y'all are throwing punches like that and taking bumps like that. Like, that, that looks better than some of the guys. Y'all can't do that. And I remember Chris Jericho was there by the ring, and he hears this going on. He came over and he said, look, if the guys can't follow what the girls are doing, then the guys need to step it up. I think it was awesome. They did great, and it's not their problem that it looked that good. And I was like, oh, thank you, because, out of respect, we can't say anything, and here comes one of the boys, Jericho, of all people, sticking up for us. And I was like, thank goodness, because, obviously to say we couldn't do anything like that for a while. But every time we got in trouble for our punches looking too good or our kicks looking too good or putting our feet on the ropes to cheat to win, we'd always get in trouble, but then we'd let it go for like a few weeks, a couple months, and sneak it back in there. And, normally they'd forgotten about it. But so we got in trouble for that match, but I don't care because it was one of the best matches that we had. So we got in trouble for it looking too good, our punches being thrown too good, and which Lisa and I got in trouble before as well. Lisa and I, and I'm sorry this is kind of off topic since I've already spoken about Lisa, but I remember one match we were doing, gone backstage, she comes running in the locker room. I've already changed into my street clothes, into my business casual, ready to leave the arena after the show. She comes in and she says, "Get dressed. Vince wants us to go out there and do the match again." I'm like, "What? You're totally joking. Like, you're always ribbing. You're always messing with me. What is going on?" She's like, "No, I swear, get dressed." So I'm throwing all my stuff. I'm like, "What is going on?" She said, "The punches we threw on the turnbuckle, we can't throw them. They look too good." And I was like, "Seriously?" So we went out and had to redo our whole entire match. So anyway, that's kind of like me and Melina getting in trouble. But, like I said, I never personally had a problem with her. Towards the end of my career, I remember there was one little incident, and it was like so childish. So people want to know, this is the juicy details of the Michelle and Melina problem. We were in the room, and it was one of those, I think it was a Halloween deal where all the girls, we were doing some match. We were all dressed, 10 minutes probably before we're going out, and nobody has a clue what's going on. Nobody's giving us finishers. We have no idea what we're doing. So we're bouncing off ideas in the locker room. And I remember it was me and the Bellas and Melina. I can't remember who may or may not have been in there. I remember throwing out an idea, and I think it was Bree or Nicole was like, "Yeah, that sounds good." And Melina just rolls her eyes and kind of huffs, but her back's to me. And I'm like, "Melina, if you don't like the idea, that's... just tell me what you want to do. I'll do whatever. I don't care." And she's like, "No, that's fine." I was like, "Well, we're in a room full of mirrors, so next time you want to roll your eyes, you might want to kind of not do it in a room full of mirrors." So that's the biggest problem I've ever had with Melina. Isn't that just awful? And I hope you can hear the sarcasm in my voice. That's like the silliest thing ever that obviously got over. And, but it was kind of humorous. So that's my only Melina run-in right there. Honest to God, nothing else ever happened between the two of us other than a bunch of good matches. So that's that.